Can dreams really come true? Can we decide our fate, our destiny? Here, everything is possible. It's time to conquer the world. From disaster to paradise. Welcome to Firescar. And hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Let's Play Firescar. My name is Dave, and I'll be your host for this episode, as always. So, today, I'm not just morning voice Dave, I'm also sick face Dave. Yeah, I'm sick, so, please bear with me for this episode. Yeah, today, at first, like always, I'm gonna show you what I did off camera. Not much, basically just two paths. One over here, just a little bit over to there. I don't exactly like it that much, but I think I want to incorporate some of the coarse dirt, like I did up here, down to there, so that'll change. And also have to build all the bridges that I want in here and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, so I did that. And also I did something else over at Port Rest. Also a little bit for a path. Actually not a path itself, but you remember that bridge that we built? That ended in basically nothing. You know, end somewhere. Oh yeah, also this path. Right, I forgot. So the path we had before just came around there. But I also built this bit, connecting it to the bridge. I'm not quite sure what all the other things are that I want to have up here, but I'll think of something. And then this bridge, it used to end like here somewhere, and I basically made a little bit to go down. This is the design. Just put like a pillar there and capped it off. Basically. So, yeah, that's what I've done off camera. Today, in the episode, will probably not work on Firescar or Port Rest or the witch farm. You know, I don't have enough areas with those three I just named, and the mansion, and the quarry, and stuff like that, you know. Let's build somewhere else too. So the thing I want to do today is build a ink farm. Actually, let's go there. Not just wait for nighttime. I can talk to you on the way. So I want to build an ink farm. Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use a bunch of ink in the future. Now, with the 1.14 update, which will come sometime in spring 2018. They will rework the water mechanics, and I think there will also be some new mobs spawning on the water, like fish and stuff like that. And I don't know how much of a problem that will be for ink farms. So I always have only a little bit of ink, and I think I want to build something with a bunch of gray and or black concrete in the future. What did I want to do? Right, I wanted to check if I have a bed. Yeah, so I probably want to have a bunch of ink for that, and just in case the upcoming update in a bunch of time in the future breaks things, I want to stockpile some ink before that. I have not looked at a tutorial on how to build an ink farm. And I don't plan on. I've seen some people build a few, and I think the design that I saw Sevidus build is the design I want to use for. I want to go for. I think the best place for the ink farm will be in a desert. Thank God I know of a desert. Where I'm getting all my sand, which I'm completely ripping apart, So we'll head there and build an ink farm. I kind of changed my mind with the desert. This is a different desert. This is a desert closer to the quarry. And back where the Savannah M biome is, where I wanted to build something. If you remember that, probably has been literally years ago since I found that and showed that in an episode. I think I was out here to find the Mesa biome back in the day. Way before I did the donkey expeditions. I think at least. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is where I want to build it. So, the size of it, I'm not sure. But basically what it will be is a hole in the ground and Squid will die. How about I have a look at the spawn mechanics of Squid, like at what height they actually spawn, and then we can start building this. This should be fairly easy. The design that I have in mind is pretty easy to understand. That's the reason why I'm still remembering it. Basically, it will just abuse water mechanics. So the squid will always be pushed down by the current. And that should make it pretty efficient. Also, there's not a lot of water around here. You can see there's a river here, but it's not pretty deep. And on the other side, there is a river, but it's pretty far away, so I don't think anything will spawn in there, actually. And that's kind of the reason why I want to build this in the desert. So I can see if anything is around there. Also, I wanted to build something in this desert for quite a while, and I think this is a good excuse. Because the farm itself will just be underground, but obviously we'll put something cool above. Oh, also, I just got the return to sender thing when I was going through the nether. When you punch or shoot one of the ghast balls back at the ghast. I do that quite a lot, so interesting that I just got that. Well, anyway, I'll have a look at the spawn mechanics and then we'll build this. So, if I got that right, Squid will spawn from level 46 up to level 63. So, let's get to level 63. Now, I think the coordinates that it's showing, like, on the left side, where the coordinates are, I think you know what I mean. It's actually at, like, the level of our head. So that means our head is now at 62. This is the first layer where Squid will spawn. I think. That should be the top layer. So let's put that there as a marker. And let's go down to... what did I say? 46. Okay. If you want to dig straight down, this is the safe way. If you, like, alternate back and forth, even if you open up a cave, you won't die. Speaking of cave, I hear one. So this is the bottom layer where Squid will spawn. So let's put that over. Yeah. This is basically what we have to work with. Now I guess the next step would be to think of the dimensions of what I want to have, but wow, I'm so bad at flying lately, like flying straight out of holes. Used to be better at that. So to get the dimensions right, it's kind of important that we base that on the spawn pattern that we want to have. So let's say we have this as a corner block, right? So I fill all that in with a good wall block, and yeah, and you probably know what I mean. So a wall will go along here, and one will go along here. Now I was talking about that the farm abuses the water mechanics. With that, I meant that flowing water, like if water flows down, it will only push you down, or any mob for that matter, if the water flowing down is next to a block, right? So, for example, if we do something like that, the water right next to the block is pushing down. The water over here, you see how fast I can swim up? If I'm here, I'm slower. Because here I'm actually getting pushed down. Over here, where there's no block around, I'm free to move. That's basically what we're gonna use to push down, make sure that all the squids are being pushed down. That probably was not a good representation of what I'm talking about, but well, oh well. So what we're gonna do is try to think of a layout where every block of water is next to a block. Yeah, well, next to a building block. Which basically will look like that, I think. Then this block is next to nothing, so we'll have another one there. That block is next to nothing, so that goes there. And see, that block is next to nothing. Is this one right? Not sure if that one is right. Yeah, it is. That's the pattern. There we go. So we have, let's imagine that's the wall, right? We always have like this kind of pattern where 4 blocks are over there, and then we shift it up and connect this, the 4 spawning blocks next to one of those, and then we repeat that. Also, you could think about it like every block is moved by 4 blocks over, so there are always 4 blocks in between these in one row. Same in that direction, and then it moves over, basically. So that's the pattern that we're gonna use. I will do that up to a certain point when I think this farm is big enough, and then I'll have to hollow this whole thing out. Maybe I want to have a haste beacon. I don't think I have any. I have one close. I really need a new beacon. Should fight the Wither. Did I do that today? I don't know. Well, look what I found. There's a desert temple here, but it's basically buried. That's interesting. I don't know if I've been here before, but I don't see where I would have come out, so probably not. Oh, hello. Ooh. Yeah, let's check what's in here. The best thing about these temples, for sure, is the TNT. Always. But there also is a bunch of gold and stuff like this always in here. Yeah, look at that. Actually, not that much. No diamonds. That's a crappy desert temple. At least we get 9 TNT. So that's good. I'm having one problem. I ran out of firework. Actually, let's check if I actually ran out of firework. I actually ran out of firework. I neither have paper nor gunpowder in my ender chest. Oh man. Things are not looking up in the world. First, I'm sick, and now this. Ugh. Ugh. Let's mark this. Been here, done that. So now it's time to actually put in the blocks where we will need them for the pushing the water down. Talked about that before. Remember how I said that based on how we lay these things out, it will impact how big we can make the farm? Scratch that. That's not true. I'm just an idiot. That one's wrong. Kind of go like here, I think. Wait. Change perspectives. We have one there. And then we have one there. And we have one there. And do we have one there? This is right. No, it's not. That one over there. And then that one there. There we go. So that's the pattern. You could see it as a line like that, or always 4 like that, or always like 4 in between like that. Whatever you want to call it, but basically it just repeats itself. The fact that I'm struggling with this is not because this is a hard pattern. I blame it on being sick. If you're wondering what I actually have, what kind of sickness, look at the top texture of sandstone. Now imagine that being a little bit more green and a little bit more vibrant. And that's basically how the stuff looks that flies out of my lungs when I breathe too hard. I'm pretty sure nobody of you wanted to hear that. But yeah, in case anybody was wondering, that's basically what's going on with me. So, I'll fill in the rest of these blocks, and I'll see you when that's done. And I'll probably have dug out all this stuff. It'll take a while. And it's done. Look at that. That took a while. I had to dig all the way down, and then I put in all the pillars. I decided to go with acacia logs for the pillars. Over here. Which is quite a bunch more acacia wood than I actually thought I would. I think I brought 3 stacks of acacia wood. Turns out I need I think I needed like 1,500 something acacia logs to fill this in, so that was fun. I built it all the way down. I left a little bit of space, and now we'll work on the collection system. So I was thinking about how I want to do that, and I thought I'll just make something really simple, just like maybe some ice and a water stream, and that should be it, right? Wrong. We are trying to get squid to suffocate down there. We can't really do that in water, so that was a bad idea. I'll have to do something else. I don't think I ever made like a collection system with rail. Oh, I need so much more gold for this. Actually, I might have, but I don't really know much about that other than the concept. So it's time to figure that out. The first part will be easy. Laying down tracks that our cart will go around on. I think this will be like the starting point. Oh, how do they connect? Like, how do they want to connect? If I do this. Huh. There is one way how they really like to connect. I think it's this way, right? I don't know. There is a way where, like an orientation, where rails connect very easy. Like they want to snap in that direction, but not in the other one. I'd like to have laid out in this one, otherwise it will be pretty painful, I think. I don't know though. Let's see. I think I'll go just back like this, and then back and forth over there, and then back and forth, and back and forth, and so on. I don't know how many of these I will chuck in here. I'll have to figure that out. Then below these, I'll probably put like some, like a piece of redstone, or like a block of redstone, something like that. And then we'll have to figure out how the drop-off will work. I don't think I even talked about what the idea here is. Hello, making videos. I think I'm new to this. On top of here, we will have a hopper minecart that will go back and forth. And then on this level, I want to have a half slab. I think hopper minecarts can take stuff through a full block. I'm not sure though, so I'll just put in a half slab, and that should be good. Unless you can nudge the minecart through the half slab, which I don't think. But I will need so much more gold. Let me go and get some. So, the rails have been laid down. Now, thinking about this, I probably overdid it with the powered rail. So, the layout I went for is 5 powered rail, 5 unpowered rail, And then I just continued that. Pretty sure that's overkill. Pretty sure. But whatever. Hopper minecart should make it through this pretty quick though. And reliable. Woo. Yeah. Well. Not too fast. I think that's alright. So, the thing we now have to work around, figure out even, is how to do the drop-off mechanics. I don't know how this works. I think the first thing we actually have to do is to lead the 2 minecart tracks to one spot. And I'll probably do that in the middle. So, the idea is we first have a chest. So let's make a chest. As you know, this is how I like to do redstone. Having no idea what the hell I'm doing and then trying to figure it out. So we have a chest, like that. Then we have a hopper pointing into that chest. Above the hopper, do we have powered rail? We kind of need powered rail there, right? Go like that. And then we put, let's see. So we want to have our hopper minecart on top of this, right? So this is supposed to be here. Whenever there are items going through the hopper, we want the minecart, the powered track, to be unpowered. So I would say we can probably power this with a torch going into this block. Let's test that. Test that theory. Bam. No, we can't. Okay. Can we power that with a redstone repeater going into this block? I hope so. And we can. Okay, cool. That means we can easily invert this one. So we take a redstone comparator that will give out a signal whenever there is whenever there are items in the hopper. We'll extend that. We want a repeater for that. And then we shove that signal into the torch, which apparently can't be there then. Figure this out. So we take that signal and we shove it into the torch. Can I do this and have a torch on top? Does that work? If we put items in there, it turns off. That's what we want. And when there are no items in there, it turns back on. Perfect. Now we only need to send that signal into here, and then it should work in theory. Let me see. Messy. No, not that. Bear with me. There we go. Now it's powered. We have items in here. It goes to top. Puts the items in there. Once it's empty, it leaves. I did it! Mom! Mom, I did it! I did it! Cool. Now I'll build a room. To have a drop-off when it comes from that side, and have a drop-off when it comes from that side. And then we can put in the water and see how this thing works. Now, actually, we should maybe check if the upper minecart actually picks stuff up that is on here. To make sure that's not just something that I think it will do. Oh, and also, this room obviously won't change like this, right? Yeah, it's a pretty ugly room, so we'll do something about that. Put the entrance over here. Alright then, let's drop down a few blocks. And it should go from over there. This should now disappear, probably. Yep. Okay, I think that's enough of a test for me. We'll just have a look if it puts the items into the chests, and then we can continue with the water. So I've been fiddling with this for, I don't know, like half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that, and I can't really get it to work. I thought I got it to work now, but I didn't. The problem with the design we have is that the minecart is just too quick. It goes in, and before the powered rail could turn off, it would leave again, only dropping off one item at a time, which obviously is a no-go. So I thought I'll just extend this and have 2 hoppers, so twice as long on the powered rail. I had powered rail here too, but that didn't work. I also removed powered rail up here to make it slow down a bit. Didn't work either. So now I did this, which worked the first time, but then the second time I think it was too slow again. With this, it spends quite some time on top of hoppers, which all lead into this one, which is where we have the comparator. So now that it spends enough time on the hoppers and on the powered rail to actually stop, but it stopped up there, which is no good because now it doesn't start again. However, I just remembered that normally when I see these things, there are detector rails involved, and I thought, what about we put a detector rail somewhere over there and have it preemptively shut off the powered rail over here, right? That might work. So let's do that. Maybe it's enough if we just put it in front of here. Actually, the thing is, I already made detector rails before I started building this. Just because I remembered that I normally see them with things like this. Let's get them. Phew. And have a look if we can figure it out now. Well, alright then. It only literally took me an hour, but it now works. Aha, minecart arrives, empties, and then leaves again to go to the other side. Ugh. So, issues I was having. For one, this is too slow to just deactivate it on time on its own. And then when I had the comparator at this hopper, it wouldn't activate at all, so I had to move it over to the one that is actually just below that. Well, it does work now. I'm slightly gone insane because of all the mob sounds. But this now is working after literally an hour. Literally. And I'll just copy this thing over and then we can do the rest. So, all that's left, in theory, is to cover the top layer in water sources. Now, I could go around and put water into every spot, like a water source. I could also have it autofill if I just place down a bunch of dirt on the second layer and then put water over here. I'll do that because I'm lazy. This is actually the last part that has not been tested by me. So I'm not actually sure if it works as I have advertised. I hope it does. It should. It should, in theory. But again, I haven't tested it, so I can't know for sure. So let's do that. I'll quickly fill this top layer with the second layer with dirt. Then we put in water, and we'll see this thing in action. Hopefully. Of course, I would actually run out of dirt for this. I had to go into a cave and find dirt patches to do this. To fill the top layer with dirt. Of course, just suits this project well. Okay. So, Almost made it. One thing with the shaders is that you can't really see water flow. So for this, turning this off. Also normally turn it off when I go to the end dimension or the nether. But this now really should be the last thing we have to do to get this thing functional. I'm so curious if this will actually work. I hope. I hope. The water has been filled in. Now we only remove the dirt again, and the farm is complete. Hopefully. Hopefully. I am so curious. As you can see now, all the water is flowing down. It's always next to a block. And it will always be pushing anything down that happens to be in there. So when squid spawn, they get pushed down. They die on the half slabs, or on the slabs. And their drops get picked up by the hopper minecart. That's the whole thing about this farm. So the farm appears to be working. When I was going through it, I definitely felt the current always pushing me down. Now looking at the squid, I don't know if you can see them. They don't seem to care that much. Like when they're going sideways, it looks like they're going down, but they can definitely swim up too. Well, it does seem to work, however. There are like 3 insects in here now. So does work. How fast? I don't know. I will have to find a good spot to AFK here. Probably like 16 blocks away from that. But as you can see, this should work. Good enough to AFK here. It should get some drops. It actually takes quite a while. And there we go. Some insects. The upper minecart will go around, get it, and put it in the system. Now, one thing that I didn't actually think about beforehand, and that I kind of neglected again, is can spiders spawn on tracks? If so, we have a problem. Very big problem. If they can't, then we're good. After AFKing here for hours, I can safely say this project has been a complete failure. So as it seems, the squid are no longer affected by water streams, by water current. It has been changed, I think, actually a bunch of times in the past. The important thing is they do not care that the water is trying to push them down. Like if we go in, see how slow we are, no matter where we are, that's because the water really tries to push us down. And it works for us. It does not work for the squid. So building all these pillars, you know, the thing that took really long about this stupid farm, because some idiot, namely me, has decided to build these stupid pillars out of something that he does not have on hand and takes a while to farm. God damn it. So, I will have to rework this farm, and I will do that. However, not on camera. I'll just replace a bunch of this stuff with, I think just fence gates that will hold back the water, at least until the update aquatic comes. And will be like a air block for the squid, and they'll just fall through, and this will be way more efficient, and it's gonna be way more simple. God damn it. I present to you a working squid farm. Well, in the end, I settled for a simple design like this. I really like the idea of the other one, but turns out, as I said before, squid are not affected by current anymore. Well, that's annoying. This farm will probably break with the update aquatic. They already teased that water will flow through fences. That will probably also be the case with fence gates, which in general, if you think about it, that's the way it should be. That's the way it makes sense. But yeah, it'll probably break this farm. At least to some degree. Probably fixable though. As you can see, the like how it works is pretty simple and pretty efficient. As you can see, a lot of squid always spawning and then falling down, like that guy over there. So the way it works is just, this is a cube of water sources. I went to fill everything in with water sources. Thinking back, I'm not sure why I did that. It's a bad idea actually. If I ever want to remove this now, I don't want to remove this now. Yeah, as you can see, there's one block gap all around with fence gates, and I put the pillar in the middle, just in case squid just always are swimming over there and then never touch the ground, the side. But usually what happens is they swim in one direction, hit the side, fall down, die, and gets collected. While building this, I was like, why am I doing this? This is way too complicated for something so simple. So I spent a lot of wood making all the fence gates. Remember all the acacia wood I had for this and like for all the pillars, and I still had acacia wood in my chests? Well, that's all gone now. These 10 fence gates is all the acacia wood I still had left. Like that's all what's left from all those pillars and the trees that I still had growing over there. So it turns out that one fence gate is equal to one log. So yeah, what was alright that I found all that wood before. Oh yeah, what I wanted to say is, like having all those fence gates everywhere, that's totally not necessary. It's necessary for the bottom, if you want to kill them like this, but really, if you want to have like a just a place where water flows straight down and doesn't go any further, you just do this. You remove the middle, and look at that. Look at that. The squid will spawn and fall down. I could have done that with the whole thing. But nope. I went through the trouble making a bunch of fence gates, placing them down, opening them. Well, it works though. Pretty efficient even. Well, I'm not sure if I could say efficient. It works. It's effective. That for sure. Let me show you. It's also a good trap. If you're in here and you want to jump out, you can't. Like, it doesn't matter how you time it. You can't jump out. Doesn't work. Yeah. Every time the minecart returns, like if it returns from that direction, it usually brings around 30, and if it returns from the other side, it usually returns around 10. I first thought that this should totally be the same. This does not represent the amount it's getting. I took everything I had and put it into here to see how much I got earlier before. But it definitely returns more on that side than it does on that side. And I was like, why is that? That shouldn't be, right? It travels the same distance back and forth. Well, Jimmy, let me explain to you. The most of the ink is obviously dropped on the edges, since that's where they normally fall down, like that guy. The special thing about going ending on that side compared to ending on that side is that at the very end it goes all the way on that border and then all the way on that border, which means it picks everything up on those borders when it returns to that side. And when it goes to that side, it starts with all of those, which means it just picked all of those up. And obviously there is not much spawned. Now, then it returns to all of this, which takes a bit, and then comes back, and a lot of spawn on that side. So it picks all of that up when it returns on that side again. So there will always be more when it returns on that side than when it returns on that side. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that was necessary of me explaining that. Anyway, this is a good time to end the episode, I think. I've put a lot of work into this project, which was totally not necessary, and I could have done this way easier and probably more efficient too. But hey, I learned a bunch of things. I now know how to build a simple squid farm, although I didn't do that. And I also figured out how to do like a minecart pickup system. I've never done that before. Also the emptying the minecart thing. I've never done that before either. That was fun. It took forever, but that was fun. I don't know how to do that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any suggestions or any tips on anything I did, feel free to leave them. Definitely curious on how to do things better. And I hope I see you again in the next episode, video, stream, maybe my Discord server, whatever it will be. And until then, see ya.